Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year! Welcome to our first episode of 2026 on our January book club month book, which was 1984 by George Orwell. I hate doing the intros. I need to point this out, guys. But yeah, 1984, George Orwell, which was my suggestion.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Sophie's New Year, and I think this year her New Year's resolution is to finally get a choice.
Yeah, to finally get one of my... I started this. This is my creation. Not one of my books has been chosen.
Yeah, and you've already gone independent away from us as well.
No, right, guys. I've just started this. My New Year's resolution this year was to start my own book talk account. Because I read a lot more books than just... I mean, so does Ayla.
I was going to say, how many books have you read this month?
I'm the slacker of the group.
Yeah, no, I read a lot more books, and I love,
we're ahead with Sophie. I've read 7 books. I'm on my 8th. Kyle's already read 6.
6 and 7.
I think I've read 5.
There's the door.
The oldest
There's the door.
Try to fit into the younger generation, get those audience members in.
No.
Different demographic.
2026.
2026. And then next year's 2027.
Right, on to the podcast. Yes, so back to what I was saying. I started my own book talk account. All my reposts are on the Liability Library page, so if you want to find me, just go to reposts. I've always wanted to do it.
Yeah,
create some book content.
As long as you don't start a podcast without us, that's fine.
Oh no! I don't do that. I need Kyle's editing.
And my camera.
Yes. As you can see, we have new equipment.
Yes.
Ella got a lovely new camera for Christmas,
Which is you.
Yeah. And I got some lovely new microphones and an interface for my Christmas to make us sound crisp and clear, and we can make Kyle shut up when we want to. Mute.
I got the same old editing skills, so I'm going to cut all this
so we're
slander.
going to cut Kyle out and get a new editor.
Yeah, very good.
So, we read 1984, didn't we, guys?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
You read it the blurb last time. Do we need it again?
Yeah, we always read the blurb at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sophie, take it away.
No.
Nice try.
I don't have my glasses on.
Oh, that's what they all say. Velma
Core.
Core.
I'll read it if
I'll
you can.
read it.
Sure contacts.
So they were the same prescription. Yes, so our blurb. A masterpiece of rebellion and imprisonment, where war is peace, freedom is slavery, and Big Brother is watching. Thought, police, Big Brother, Orwellian. These words have entered our vocabulary because of George Orwell's classic dystopian novel 1984, the story of one man's nightmare odyssey as he pursues a forbidden love affair through one ruled by warring state and a power structure that controls... The words are moving, guys. No, that was not helpful at all because I've lost my space. Cut.
This is staying in.
Where was I?
Yeah,
Where was I? This is why I should read it. Love affair, the world ruled by warring states and a power structure that controls not only information but also individual thought and memory. In 1984 is a prophetic, haunting tale more relevant than ever before. 1984 exposes the worst crimes imaginable, the destruction of truth, freedom, and individuality. With a forward odd, we don't care about that bit, that's just forward stuff. Happy New Year.
So, personally, I don't always have really strong opinions on the books we've read, but I have strong opinions on this one.
Yay!
Yeah. Not always in a good way. I know Kyle really enjoyed this book.
Well, yeah.
I've kept it
on
secret.
further reflection, I'm sort of in the middle.
I don't know what Ella's.
I have pros and cons.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
Does anyone want to start?
I don't know.
I will preface this.
Preference. I will warn.
I will just say.
Comment who won that.
I will just say. We picked this book as anything but romance. Okay, it's not a very good romance.
Yeah.
But there's romance in this book.
Yes.
So if you don't want a book that has any slight romance in it, this is not the book for you.
Yep.
because it does have romance in it. Is it, smutty and fantastical? No, absolutely not.
1984 smut sensation.
I read it. No, I have to say this now because
When
it's
he gets
already
to his foot,
relevant.
that really got me
After I
going.
finished
Yeah.
reading the book, I went and looked at other people's reviews because I just wanted to know what other people had thought before we had our discussion. And somebody put like 5 stars, but their only comment was needs more smut.
Mm.
I sat there and was like,
I feel that.
I see what this person was actually
Mhm.
wanting
That was
to
actually
read.
Kyle's
Yeah,
comment.
you got me. You
Under
got
a
me.
synonym.
You got me.
Yeah. One thing that I can't get out of my head when I read this book was they don't have like really enough money to buy nice things, whatever. And they said like a lot of your money can go towards like your pajamas. He
Yes.
doesn't do that. He keeps his money and he just sleeps naked. But then one night goes to sleep, wakes up in the morning, and immediately he has to do this exercising. Bro is in front of my brother, naked, squatting, and
That's so
doing
funny.
some exercises,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get out of my head that, bro, they are watching you naked right now.
But I
doing
suppose if you know that they're always watching, the shame kind of goes.
But they're not always watching in that sense. They do have
Mm.
privacy and like
But
their bedroom.
can you
They
really
can hear you.
Can they really guarantee that privacy all the time though? That's I think that's kind of the
I know,
structure
but
that
I
you
just in my
cannot
head, I
you
couldn't
can
stop
never tell if
reading
you're
it.
actually safe or not in that aspect. I think for me, I was
He's like, I'll show you, big brother.
oh no, he's got props now.
Oh god.
You did it, not me. Merry Christmas.
Ella, yes, please continue.
I think for me with the book, I was coming up with way too many scenarios. People were going, "Oh my god, the plot twist, the plot twist, the plot twist." So I was like, "Oh, I'm so excited for the plot twist." And then I was going, "Oh,
What plot twist?
well, yeah." I had it in my mind because the way I also thought a lot of the information was so repetitive. I was like, I'm hearing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Surely the repetition is supposed to be something really important.
No.
Because one of the things was he was going, oh, you can't trust media. You can't trust anything told by other people. You can't trust yourself. You could be like families will betray family and things like that. People are trying to rat you out. So I thought his job, he's number one. I was like, oh, he's big brother and he's trying to get people. He's trying to get Julia. He's trying to get her exposed. She's trying to get like he's actually the one trying to get people into like prison and things like that. I fully thought that was the case. I didn't trust anyone. I didn't trust Julia because after she was going and being all romantic, I was like, actually, I'm wrong. She's Big Brother. I thought everyone was Big Brother. I was going, I can't trust anyone. I didn't connect with any of the characters because I knew I couldn't trust any of them. So even my main character, the protagonist, I was like, I don't like you. I don't trust you. You could be doing something wrong right now.
To be fair, I didn't have that same thought.
I was spiraling.
I just didn't connect with the characters because I just thought they were fucking boring. Man.
Yeah.
They were so boring. And it's the first, it took me so long to read the first 100 pages. See, after that, when Julie comes into it, it's a bit more conversational. I kind of went through it. But the first 100 pages, it took me days to read because it just took so long. It was so much information.
Yeah.
But
like
the
high
same
fantasy.
information.
I thought it was going a bit insane.
This book was like 300 and, I think it was 340 pages on my Kindle. Could have been 100.
Yeah.
Without all that information.
100%.
Because they're telling you things. But I kind of understood some of it as like, it is kind of like fantasy where it's world building. This is not a world we live in. We're not used to this beat.
Saying that though,
No,
I
no.
was getting scared. I was going, oh
No.
wow.
At the time when
Modern
he wrote
day.
this, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't the world. So he needs to set up this world for people to read it and understand what's going on and how crazy it is. So I got that. I was like, oh, this is trying to world build. But then I was like, okay, you've done that. And now you're doing it again and again and again. And he just kept repeating the same information in
100%.
slightly different ways. And a different story, but it meant the same thing. And I was like, okay, I get it. Big Brother's always watching. You can't trust the media. They're always lying to you. I get what you're trying to tell me. Move on with the story.
Mm-hmm. I thought it should like the repetition was really important. I was trying to justify it. I think that's like, you've always got to try and justify a writer's stuff because you might not know. As you go along, you can't decide, oh, I hate this book because of this when you don't know why they've written it in that way. So I was trying to justify it as, well, all these people have got this in their head at all times. Maybe we have to have it in our head all times. We're trying to be in the position of them. But then by the end, it's like, oh no, it doesn't really matter. Like if I was going, if I any of my plot points that I'd created in my head for the story, if that was the case, maybe it would have made more sense.
Interesting.
But
Kelly, you've not said a lot.
No,
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear your opinions on it because no, I did read this book in high school, like, just on my own accord. I thought it was like an edge lord. I was like, I read 1984. I read No Longer Human. I read all these things because it makes me cool and kind of like,
You thought he was different.
yeah, I thought it was
Not
different.
like other
I'd sit in a wee
boys.
coffee shop and sit and read my book. Literally. No, I thought it was so cool. But I think it's such an interesting book because of like how fear equals that level of control and the brainwashing that occurred. Because I think reading it now with what's happening in the world, that's really interesting. How media is sort of perceived and how when it was written, it was just a concept like, well, this could be a very dystopian future. And now we're starting to see glimpses of it in our real life, and we're like, "Ooh, that's very like the whole TikTok thing that's going on. Like they're nuking, yeah, they're nuking people's videos and stuff, so they don't get seen at all. It's really interesting to me reading it now
Mm-hmm.
and seeing parallels to real life because it's like when you think of dystopian writing, you think 1984. Big Brother's always watching. The misinformation that they spread to cause that fear to then make you sort of abide by their ruling. It's all very interesting. I do think it's insane that someone read 1984 and went, "No, I'm gonna make a show out of this. Widow Willie. This is a pretty good idea."
That's what I was thinking. I was kind of
Like,
going,
that's crazy
oh,
to me.
this is like Celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah,
I'm
that's where they got
watching
the idea
this.
from. Like the cameras everywhere, they're always monitoring you. That it's crazy that someone watched that and went, "I'm going to use this
Mhm.
for profit." Very, very interesting. I do think there's parts of it that, like, when I was reflecting, because I read this right as we took our break for Christmas, and it started
Sort
right
of
at the start.
solid month
So I
ago.
was like, "Ooh, I forgot we need to record this episode," and
There's
most of
5
it's
books
went,
ago for you.
yeah, most of it has went out my head. So let me try and backtrack and rethink about where I was. I love the use of language. Like plus good, double plus good. The way that
Yeah.
they're shrinking the mind of the people to make them more malleable and more.
Like the whole
Which
dictionary
is
Yeah.
aspect
so
of it.
scary
That's
because
so
you've got to think
interesting
like
because of the control that then causes.
they've got Newspeak.
Yeah.
We've got AI.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
That's what's
it's-
dumbing our human race now.
There's because I don't know. I just think that's really interesting. I understand where you're coming from, where there's not really a protagonist that you can really sink your teeth into and sort of like
Root
you
for them.
sympathize with the world because everyone is sort of like every character you meet is sort of like being warped in a certain way, and some of them think it's a good thing. They're like, well, but that's just the way that they've been like had this power forced upon them.
Mhm.
So it's just a very depressing book.
That is my opinion on it was it like enjoyable? Like did I enjoy reading it? Not really.
Mm.
But did I understand why it's an important read?
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
yeah.
It's not a book I'll go back to.
It's not
No.
a book that I would reread. It's not
Yeah.
a book that like if you're looking for a fun read, I'd recommend. Absolutely not. But I agree with the fact
It's
that
something you can
it
reference
is something
in the
that
future.
I think everyone should read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the way it is so prevalent to what's going on right now. Like that was also one thing that I noticed, especially in those first kind of 100 pages of world building, was how similar
Yeah.
it is to our world right now.
No, exactly.
And this was written in what 1949 or something like that. It
Yeah.
was
And
it
not
speaks
that
a lot
long
of, like-
after the Second World War.
Yeah.
It's set in what they believe is 1980, 1990.
Yeah. It's like
Because
a
they
complete
don't
guess,
know, they
yeah,
actually don't know what year it is,
when he's making
but
his
they think
notes,
it's round about then. So it's actually we're further on
Yeah.
in life than what he thought it would like.
And yet
it would
we're
take.
still living in those kind of circumstances.
Now I think this book is becoming true. It is. It's
It,
really scary, actually.
one of his other pieces was Animal Farm, which I read at school. And I remember everybody doing the same thing of, oh, it's really boring, like so on and so forth. I was kind of going, but it's really interesting that these pigs are turning into dictators.
Have you
Do you
seen?
not think that's quite important?
Have you seen the new film adaptation of it? Seth Rogen. It looks awful. It looks terrible. It looks so bad. But yeah,
Yeah,
very
I
interesting.
think it is a very important book to
Yeah.
read.
I think a lot of George's work is like that
First name
though.
basis.
Yeah,
Oh, my
we're
brother
big
actually
pal,
told me
we're
last
best
night
pals.
that he thinks his writing is so different is because he's actually George Orwell was a journalist.
Yeah, speaking of
Oh.
his own
So
experiences and
it
like
is
what
very it is very different
but
than
he's
just a
walking
normal
into
writer.
fiction.
It's quite
He's an educational
Yeah.
writer, and I think what needs to be done is for forcing people to read that kind of thing,
Mm.
because I mean, especially books like that are really educational to find things in real life and go, hang on, that's like Napoleon the pig. I'm scared, and call against it.
I think works of fiction that can reflect real life, it almost is like a warning.
Mm.
Is really really interesting. I think yeah, just sort of like entering into that sort of world where I'm a big dystopian guy.
Yeah.
I enjoy a bit of dystopian writing, but there's always some form of hope in the ones I regularly read. Like
Mm.
there's going to be some sort of uprising. And the ending of this is so dark. The more you think about it, because you're just like, ooh, that's sad.
It's that aspect of in real life you sometimes don't get a happy ending, and that's a book that's so eye opening about real life.
Yeah.
It not having a happy ending, you are going, oh, I do like that. That is quite scary. That
Yeah.
a book that was written 80 years ago is still kind of relevant and
No, it's completely relevant.
not
It's
hopeful
insane.
at all.
It's one of those timeless books that people can refer to. I saw someone like leave a review and it's like, the only books I reference in laugh is The Bible in 1984 by George Orwell. Okay. Okay. Each have a higher power that I follow every command from.
God.
All right.
To go back to the ending.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoiler.
You know that by
spoilers.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All our reviews have spoilers. Now don't get me wrong.
Mm.
I wanted him to die. I
Same.
thought
I think he wanted them to.
Yeah, no, but I
Like,
thought
please.
he's never like even because the whole thing was like, oh, even if we like turn your mind back, there's still a chance we'll kill you. And I thought I think it would make more sense for him. Like, well, in my head when I read it, I was like, he's gonna die. He will die. I mean, he didn't
Because
die.
you want him to, yeah. You want him to in a way.
Dying is
But
better
then-
than living in suffering.
But then when you take a step back, I was kind of like, why didn't he die? Like, he should have died at the end of that book. I then took a step back and reevaluated my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Always reevaluate your opinions, guys. And I thought to myself, why? Why didn't he die? And when you really think about it, then it also just reiterates the whole fact of what the book is about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It really does. Of the government and everything, the media and that can influence your decision in politics and anything in life. And I forgot where I'm going with this point. Clearly. But like he gets brainwashed, but there's
Yeah.
still a tiny part of him that believes
I think
that he that knows he's being brainwashed, but he will to keep the peace and to keep his life away from being fucking tortured again. Of I will just believe what I'm getting told to believe.
I think
Yeah.
what's interesting to me is like we as people, even in the worst circumstances, always look to keep ourselves alive.
Yeah.
We want to live. We seek like in the worst circumstances you hear stories of people that like they get lost on mountain trails and they keep fighting for weeks because they want to all these horrible things. And I think what's really powerful about certain types of writing and certain authors is the ability to make living seem like a punishment.
Yeah.
Because death is so final, but also depending on your circumstance, you can find peace in that. But there's no peace in this world. There's no ease. You're always, I don't know.
I think that
I just
character
think it's
will
really powerful.
always be on edge
Mm.
of that happening.
Me too.
Yeah, but I think it shows like you're saying about fighting to survive.
Yeah.
It shows how I don't know. I don't want to say selfish, but it shows how like every single person is, they will more than likely pick themselves over anyone else.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that happens in the book. He holds out for years, not wanting to put, Julia in the fighting line. He doesn't even know what happened to Julia.
Yeah.
And right in the last minute, that thing that really would break him, he
Oh,
then
it's
goes,
horrific.
not me.
Yeah, it's
Her.
horrific.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it shows that selfishness of, I will do anything to protect myself.
Mhm.
But that's not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get what
But
you
then I also do think there's that aspect of it. Although, yeah, throwing somebody else into your torture is cruel, I was kind of going, but what wasn't for you, she wouldn't have cared about.
Mm.
That taking somebody's fears and supporting them through it by giving you taking the brunt of it is showing love. That, like, if I didn't like spiders, I don't want to touch a spider, so on and
Yeah.
so forth. But like my partner would love, like, doesn't care. He's not fussed by the. I don't have a partner, by the way. That's the hypothetical. They would pick it up and take it out for me. That's showing love because I don't want, like, that's a fear of mine. I don't want that.
Yep.
So it's spinning that showing compassion and empathy for somebody else isn't love. That's you being cruel, that just because you don't want to do it, you're forcing somebody else to go through your torture.
Yeah.
So it's quite clever that they took it like that, because I was kind of going, it's not that big of a deal if he doesn't want to be in a room with rats. That's
No, but
fair.
it was going on his face.
Yeah, but if I don't really care, I mean, I wouldn't love it, but if I don't have a fear of rats. If it walks on my face, that's fine.
It's
Go
going
for
to
it.
eat his face.
Can't guarantee that, can you?
I mean, you can't guarantee that, but
Babes, I've seen New
but-
York rats. They're horrible. Like,
So
Yeah.
smoking a cigarette, hailing a cab. I'm
like,
walking here.
like, I think taking somebody else's torture that wouldn't have affected you as much isn't as bad as they.
But that
made
isn't
it out
them
to be.
taking it, that's them forcing it upon
Oh
the
yeah,
other person.
forcing it, but it's that aspect of the way that they manipulate them into thinking, just because you don't want to deal with it, you're a bad person. Nobody wants to deal with their greatest fears. It's why they're the greatest fears. Somebody else
then
doesn't fear it as much.
It's also said then when he goes, no, Julia, then the guy turns around and is like, I bet you couldn't guess how long it took her to turn on you, because it took a lot less for her to go, no, him.
Yeah.
Because everyone
Really
will do it,
powerful.
Yeah.
no matter what love you have there. It's that animal instinct to survive.
Self-preservation.
How do you think it's funny? Like, there's a lot of comments in modern media about how our generation and like millennials as well have given up with the hard work ethic and things like that in the work industry, because they're not seeing the same rewards as what our older generations got to
Endure.
they got to receive when they worked hard and one parent income and things like that,
Yeah.
family of 12 and all that lovely stuff. And I think that's also another kind of aspect you can reflect onto the book. We were kind of hoping that our protagonist was going to die, because what else does he have to live for at that point? Especially after he leaves, like him and Julia leave each other.
Yeah.
He's literally got nothing besides working for Big Brother. So what is there to live for? Whereas like we've got our friends, we've got our family, and we've got love and things like that, but we don't have the work. Well, I say we're fine, but other people don't have that work drive that
Yeah.
people used to have in older generations. And I think that's a kind of similar reflection that you can put onto the whole thing as well.
Exactly.
I don't think it's necessarily that our generation doesn't have a work ethic.
Oh no,
I
100%.
think
It's just
I think it's the generation kind of above us, like my parents' generation. They're getting told by the media
Yeah.
they don't have a work ethic because we have work boundaries, because we don't get as much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
We
the
don't
aspect.
get it- yeah,
we
like, we
we
don't get as much-
solidify the
yeah.
boundary because we know that even if we do overtime and things like that, we're not going to be up for that promotion. We're not going to get all these things. It's going to go to somebody else who's a nepo and things like that.
Mhm.
Like, we're not going to get the same rewards for doing above and beyond work like other generations have. That's what I was meaning. We're not lazy, I swear.
I wasn't saying you're saying that.
No. And
It's, again, it's that kind of point of the media.
oh yeah,
Like this book,
Big Brother.
Big Brother's telling you what you're supposed to be thinking.
Yeah.
And it's true, because everyone in my generation that I know is hard working. We're all hardworking. We're here at uni. You know, jobs and extracurriculars and stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Well, does anyone have any other thoughts?
You
on
got
this book?
questions you want to do?
We can do questions.
I
We can
do.
have a
I did
question or
say
two.
I found this.
You didn't tell us. What did you find?
This is I was saving it. I found a book. Oh, that's not a book.
You're not getting your book picked this year.
No, it's called 1984 Julia, and it's from Julia's perspective, but it's by Sandra Newman, and it's very. I would say it's quite poorly rated, but I've not read it. But I just thought it was quite interesting that somebody wrote it from Julia's point of view. I got 3.72 stars, and that's 14,565 people who have rated that. But I just thought it was very interesting that somebody took George's book and then changed the point of view and is now kind of profiting from their own point of view of writing. Because it's not George Orwell's book.
Yeah.
Which you'd think if somebody was going to write a second point of view of their own story, it would be the author who wrote the first one. But I just thought it was really interesting to point out that there's a.
Oh, don't delete that.
Okay, fine. I'll get it back.
Get Kyle to edit it in.
Haha.
That's fine.
But
Bring it back.
yeah, so it's like a. I just thought it was really interesting that there's a second book by a completely different person.
That's very
A,
interesting.
because I've never seen somebody else besides like people on Wattpad and things like that doing things like that. But no, this is like a fully published book
Interesting.
from somebody else's point of view by a completely different author.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have some questions.
Questions.
Do you want to pick a number? We have questions 1 to 19.
6.
Did you reread any passages? If so, which ones?
No.
You reread the book technically.
Technically, I reread the book, and I was thinking like maybe I'd be able to find something else in it. I think with age and maturity, I was able to sort of, less ape brain as like 15-year-old Kyle had been like, oh, yeah, I think he appreciated it at a surface level. But I think, I've gotten a lot more political as time has gone on. I've gotten a lot more interested in the world and its topics.
There's a lot more going on than what
There's a lot more to
Yeah.
like sink your teeth into when it comes to a book like this. I think I do think in reflection it was almost like an aspect of like performative reading, because I knew what I was reading, but I didn't understand it. I didn't have the life experience to understand it, and I'm even sitting here as a 20-year-old being like, yeah, I get it, but I don't have the life experience to fully get it. If you know what I mean.
You could read it in 10
So
years' time
I
and
could
you'd
read it
have
in
more
10 years'
to
time and
uncover.
have a completely different opinion on it. Would I? Probably not, because it's memorable. It's memorable and it's dark and it's damp and like that's the only way. This is a damp book, which is such a weird way to put it, but it's like
It's definitely a book you need to read on a rainy day.
yeah, it's the book equivalent of you've worn a nice outfit and you check the forecast and it's just meant to be a breeze, and then you get halfway out your house and it starts pouring rain and all your clothes get wet.
I didn't even go outside. I was snowed in while I was reading this. I didn't even leave my house.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
Pick a number.
I was about to say 6, but I know that's what you just did. What number can I go up to?
19.
18.
Do you know what? That's really weird. In my head, I went, bet she's going to pick 18.
Yeah.
Big brother.
Are there any lingering questions from the books you still think about?
There was plot holes. I remember. Oh, I wish I'd written it down. I remember reading it and going, "Wait, but that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Wait, hang on. But then I think that's been a lot of the books I've been reading recently. I've been thinking too much into it.
Yeah.
I would just like to have a meeting with George Orwell and just go, talk me through your mindset, please. Are you okay?
This is my impression of George Orwell.
Huh? Yeah.
This is my impression of George Orwell in that meeting.
Yeah.
Like, when people go and say, like, oh, would you, if you could have a cup of tea with anybody and ask them any questions, who would it be, dead or alive? I don't think he would be my number one choice, but he's on my list that I would. Like, I want to know what from his point of view, because obviously this is years ago. Like we didn't exist, our parents didn't exist, and yet his books have been in the education system for majority of the generations who have been alive now. What triggered these things that somehow are still current
Well,
to every day?
he speaks about, I don't know the exact reference, but a lot of it's influenced by his time and research of different cultures and stuff, and like what he's seen with his own eyes. And he depicts it obviously in a very fictitious sort of dystopian way. I'll send you. There's this thing that I read about him, and I can't remember it just off the top of my head, but it was quite interesting to read, to like see his mindset going into writing something like this.
Do you have a question?
Pick a number.
You can't just pick a number like that. Which one do I want?
Right, okay, I'll pick 4.
Which scene has stuck with you the most? Which scene? I've got my scene.
I don't know. I don't know if I could pick one scene. There's a couple of scenes that, if I was to think about it, I'd be like, oh, that was yikes. Yeah. Like the scene when they get caught was like, oh my god, like that's a scene I was like locked in. And then the scene where O'Brien is revealed as like a bad guy. So obviously he comes into it and you think that he's going to help.
Yeah.
And then he fucks him over.
Well, I would say the office scene would be the one that stuck in my mind the most.
What one? I love you.
When they go into his office, Julia and he goes like, "Would you die for the rebellion? Would you do this? Would you do that? Would you do that?" He's genuinely like just getting all the information he needs to go and arrest them.
And you don't realise that until
I did go, oh, there's something fishy going on here. Either
I didn't.
who's
I'm quite
going to
oblivious.
betray the other? Like I was like, there's 3 people in this room. One of them is going to betray the rest of them. I'm going, which one is it? And I'm kind of glad it was. I thought that was really clever. That kind of aspect of like he literally got all the answers he needed just by pretending for 2 seconds to be what other people think he is, part of the rebellion. I was just like, oh, so clever. But that's not the first person he's done that to. 100%.
Oh, no.
That has been marked as that for years at that point. He's been doing that.
But yeah. And then probably the scene where he says, "Not me, Julia." That's probably the main one. So yeah. So that is our review
What we
on
get
George
into our
Orwell's 1984.
ratings.
I was just gonna
I
get on to
forgot
that.
about that.
What to do my ratings?
Ratings.
Working on it.
Who wants to start? I'll start. I'm going to rate this a 2.5.
I'm struggling because I think the story in whole is fairly good. Like the actual plot points, when you map it out, I think it's a good story. I think it's very relevant, even though it's very old, and I think it's very educational and so important. So I want to give it 3 because I also do just think it is so repetitive in information, which maybe is good for like an education system where you're at school and you might forget things because you're only reading it once a week and things like that. But when somebody who's just reading it out of enjoyment of reading, it can be just a bit, ugh, like, okay, I get it. I've read it 3 times in one sitting trying to read this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I'm going to go for 3.
I'm sitting at about a 3.5. That's where I'm at, 3.5. It was initially higher, but the more I've reflected, I'll bring it down a wee bit to 3.5.
So overall, Liability Library rates this book at 3 stars.
Yup.
Not bad, not
Yup.
bad. So, if you've been watching for a while, you know the next step to this podcast is the spin wheel.
Woo!
Yes.
However, we have had a couple of your suggestions for this month's read because February
Yes.
is the romance month.
Yay.
The 14th and all that. We thought, this would be a romance book. Now, we've had this comment over a couple of our TikToks and our YouTube for this one particular book.
That we have.
You probably could guess it already. Kyle, this was also going to be Kyle's
This is gonna be
suggestion
my
anyway
suggestion.
for the
I'm up
spin
for it.
wheel.
Does this mean in March I get to put suggestions back in?
Yeah, I guess so. Boy, oh boy.
I'm
Maybe
going to rig
March.
it. I'm going to rig it that month.
Cheat.
Anyway, Kyle, since it was going to be your
Yeah.
suggestion, would you like to reveal
I suppose
our
so.
February book?
Lock in here. Make this look good.
Drum roll, drum roll.
Our February book is Heated Rivalry, baby.
Ooh, baby.
Oh yeah. Very excited.
I will give a quick shout out to Ross and Robin for
Shout out.
suggesting this book and solidifying our choice.
Our February pick.
Yeah.
Exciting
So
stuff.
should I get?
We will try and add in a few more throughout the year of
Yeah.
like your guys' suggestions
Mhm.
because why not?
Yeah, because we
We've
love
gotta be-
hearing your guys's.
And what we've been thinking might not be what you've got in your
Yeah.
head that you'd like to see, and maybe it's the best book we read the whole year.
Maybe for Kyle, it definitely will be.
No, we
Um,
always want to like.
Mhm.
This is a community. Like this is a transactional thing. You know, we make the content that you want to see. So we're not going to just sit and pick books that we want to read. We want to engage with you guys and sort of see what comes to mind and what you want to hear our thoughts on. So Heated Rivalry is popular at the minute.
Yeah.
Had a few comments, so we do Heated
So
Rivalry.
we'll review. If you're wanting to read this along with us, it is on Kindle. You have to pay for it though, and it's now in the works
Yeah.
for £5.
It's the works book of the week this week.
Yep.
I wonder why.
Kyle's works.
I've bought
is in
all of
charge
them.
of the works
I've
action.
bought all of them.
Just some quick information on the book.
Yep.
It's technically in a series. It's the second book in the series, but through my research, you do not have had to have read the first book
Yep.
to read this book. It's kind of like a standalone in the same world series.
Yeah.
So I think there's maybe similar characters or like mentions of characters in this book that are in the first book, but it's not prevalent to the story of Heated Rivalry to have read the first book. So you're all good if you've not read it and you just want to read Heated
Fantastic.
Rivalry.
I mean, if you want to go above and beyond and read the first book too, go ahead.
And if you're reading along, Ross and Robin, and you want us in the next podcast to read out any of your thoughts and opinions, feel free to message us, send into our Liability Library email or
Yes.
text us your thoughts and opinions, and we're more than happy to read them out and talk about them, see if we agree or if we do not agree.
Perfect.
You also mentioned Fable.
Oh, yes! Yes. I kept saying Fable everywhere, the app, because I'm a Goodreads girly, but, you know, it kept coming up. I thought, right, I'm going to download it. It's not on my iPad, it's on my phone. So, I got it, and on Fable, you can create your own book clubs. So, I have created a book club called, could you guess? Liability Library.
Whoa!
I know. And you can comment any book recommendations. I will change this book from 1984 to Heated Rivalry, and it takes each chapter, and you can put comments, thoughts, opinions on every chapter into the little comment section, and we can see it. We can, other people can reply, and it's just it makes it more of a community that we all can interact with each other on one specific book. There's you can recommend any books for other people, not just us.
Fantastic.
You can ask for recommendations from people, us or strangers.
Excellent.
I've personally am in a couple of book club things on there, and it's really lovely. Everyone's really nice.
Good sense of community.
You can
It's-
also
yeah.
see what Sophie and I don't, have you got a Fable account?
No, I do not.
He
You
will
can
be
see
getting one.
what Sophie and I have been reading outside of the book club independently. If Kyle gets it as well, you'll be able to see what Kyle's reading.
Perchance.
And that way, if you see what we've been reading and you might be interested in what we've already read, you can message us privately on that and
Cool.
we can chat about different independent books.
Excellent.
Yippee! Yippee.
I think that's us.
Fantastic.
We need to go for class.
There we
15
go.
minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, and we cannot wait to see you next month.
Bye.
Ciao.